She was an actress with big potential. Then Brittany Murphy died young. Well, now a new HBO Max documentary is looking into the star's troubled final years.
Brittany, please come back.
She's a Scorpio. What else do you need to know?
I'm a double Scorpio.
Double Scorpio.
She evidently collapsed in the bathroom.
Ashton Kutcher just broke his silence. And what he's allegedly revealing about Diddy could finally explain Brittany Murphy's tragic, mysterious death. Because here's the thing, Brittany didn't just die. She was terrified, convinced someone was poisoning her, and begging for help no one gave her. And now, with Diddy's empire collapsing and Ashton reportedly cooperating with investigators, the truth about what really happened to Brittany Murphy might be closer than ever.
The little dip she was having, he came along. And I think that's where her judgment was muddled and she became prey.
Simon said that he was the largest collector of Vermeer, dated Elle Macpherson and Madonna. He said that he had been dying from terminal brain cancer and that he had bought an experimental treatment derived from the fins of sharks. Every single word out of his mouth was a lie.
We all were scared and freaked out. Like, who was this guy?
Once they got married, they were holed up in that house 24/7.
Nobody got close to her.
Last one, guys.
But to understand why her death still haunts Hollywood, we need to go back to her final days and the chilling clues she left behind. Brittany Murphy wasn't just a rising star, she was a woman who saw the darkness coming. In her final months, she installed fingerprint locks, security cameras, and refused food from anyone she didn't trust. She told friends, "They're watching me. They want me gone." And on December 20th, 2009, her worst fears came true. The 911 call from her mother, Sharon Murphy, is bone-chilling.
Fire Department 97, what's the address of the emergency?
1895 Rising Glen Road.
What's the phone number you're calling from? Tell me exactly what happened.
Oh, somebody's passed out.
Somebody what?
My daughter's passed out. We're doing mouth to mouth. Please get here quick, please.
Okay. All right, we're going to. How old is your daughter?
She's 30. Please hurry.
She's 30?
Paramedics rushed Brittany to the hospital, but it was too late. The official cause? Pneumonia and anemia. But here's what didn't add up. Brittany was just 32, with no history of serious illness. And the coroner's report? Vague, rushed, and suspiciously quiet about the multiple drug intoxication listed as a factor. But the real red flag? Brittany's husband, Simon Monjack, fought against an autopsy. When pressed, he claimed it was just cough syrup and herbal remedies in her system. Yet insiders say Brittany had been vomiting blood for weeks, symptoms that don't line up with a simple cold. And then there's this. 5 months later, Simon was dead too. Same house, same pneumonia, same eerie silence from those who could have demanded answers. But if this was just a tragic coincidence, why did Brittany's own father hire a private lab to test her hair and discover something the coroner missed? Brittany Murphy's father, Angelo Bertolotti, refused to accept the official story. He knew his daughter, vibrant, full of life, didn't just collapse from pneumonia. So he took matters into his own hands, demanding an independent lab test her hair samples. And what they found? A nightmare hidden in plain sight. The lab results came back with levels of heavy metals 10 times higher than what's considered safe. We're talking lead, barium, and arsenic, chemicals linked to rat poison, pesticides, and industrial toxins. These aren't substances you accidentally ingest. They're weapons, and Brittany had been accumulating them for months before her death. Yet the original autopsy never tested for poisoning. Why? Because, as one coroner later admitted, no one suggested it. Even though Brittany had been screaming for help, even though she told friends she feared she was being poisoned, the system ignored her. And the timing? Beyond suspicious. These toxins don't kill overnight. They're slow, methodical, intentional. Someone wanted her weak. Someone wanted her silent. But here's where it gets even darker. Angelo claimed Brittany's mother, Sharon Murphy, and Simon Monjack blocked further testing. No mold inspection, no toxicology follow-up, just a swift cremation in a closed case. And when Angelo went public with the lab results, mainstream media barely blinked. It was as if Brittany's truth was being erased in real time. Rumors swirled that Brittany had been blacklisted for refusing to play Hollywood's game. She turned down roles tied to powerful figures, allegedly walked out of parties where favors were expected, and according to insiders, that made her dangerous. Because in an industry built on secrets, Brittany was starting to talk. One name kept surfacing in those whispers: Diddy. His infamous freak-off parties were the stuff of legend, and Brittany's sudden split from Ashton Kutcher, who was reportedly close to Diddy, lined up with her growing paranoia. Was it a coincidence that Ashton moved on with Demi Moore, another rumored guest at those parties, weeks after Brittany's death? Or that Kim Porter, Diddy's ex, died the exact same way? Pneumonia. No autopsy push, just as she was reportedly planning to expose him? But to understand how deep this rabbit hole goes, we need to talk about Simon Monjack, the con artist who married Brittany, isolated her from the world, and then died in the same house, under the same mysterious circumstances. Who was he really working for? Simon Monjack wasn't just Brittany Murphy's husband. He was a master manipulator with a past so shady, it reads like a crime thriller. And by the time Brittany realized who she was really living with, it was too late. Because Simon didn't just isolate her from the world, he may have been the one delivering the poison straight to her doorstep. Before Brittany, Simon Monjack was already a walking red flag. Fake cancer diagnoses, fraudulent business deals, and a trail of drained bank accounts followed him everywhere. He claimed to be a wealthy British screenwriter who dated Madonna and Elle Macpherson.
Now the HBO documentary, What Happened, Brittany Murphy, alleges Monjack was a con artist and contributed to her death. Brittany's friend, actress Kathy Najimy, appears in the documentary.
During a little dip she was having, he came along. And I think that's where her judgment was muddled and she became prey. We all were scared and freaked out. Like, who was this guy?
And there's this shocking claim.
Simon said that he dated Elle Macpherson and Madonna. He said that he had been dying from terminal brain cancer and that he had bought an experimental treatment derived from the fins of sharks. Every single word out of his mouth was a lie.
But his most disturbing con? Simon cut Brittany off from everyone. Friends described their home as a prison, blinds permanently drawn, doors locked, phones monitored. Brittany's paranoia wasn't just in her head. She was being gaslit. 5 months after Brittany died, Simon collapsed in the same house. Same cause of death, pneumonia and anemia. The coroner's report listed 10+ prescription drugs in his system, including heavy opioids. No investigation was opened, even though 2 healthy adults don't just drop dead from pneumonia months apart. Was Simon silencing Brittany, only to be silenced himself? But if Simon was the puppet, who was pulling the strings? Because the deeper we dig, the clearer it becomes. This wasn't just a toxic marriage. It was a setup. And one name keeps resurfacing: Diddy. Behind the glamour of Diddy's legendary parties, there was a darker side, one that Brittany Murphy allegedly saw firsthand. And when you line up her death with Kim Porter's, the similarities aren't just eerie, they're screaming the same name. Diddy's so-called freak-off parties were Hollywood's worst-kept secret. A-list attendees, underground dealings, and rumors of blackmail tapes circulating among elites. And according to insiders, Brittany was invited, but refused to play along. A former bodyguard claimed Brittany witnessed something she wasn't supposed to see at one of Diddy's events in 2005. Shortly after, her career mysteriously stalled. Studios suddenly passed on her, and scripts dried up. Her final Instagram post, since deleted, allegedly hinted at people who sell souls, posted weeks before her death. Was Brittany a loose end? Fast forward to 2018. Diddy's ex, Kim Porter, mother of his children, is found dead in her bed. The cause? Lobar pneumonia, the same rare condition listed for Brittany. Like Brittany, Kim had recently confided in friends about fearing for her life. She was reportedly working on a tell-all book about Diddy and cooperating with federal investigators. No full autopsy was performed. Her death was ruled natural causes within 48 hours. 2 women, connected to the same man, dead the exact same way. Here's where it gets even murkier. Ashton Kutcher, Brittany's ex, was Diddy's longtime friend. They partied together for years, even appearing side by side at events months after Brittany's death. In 2019, Ashton admitted on Hot Ones that their friendship was really bizarre, but refused to elaborate. Now, with Diddy facing federal charges, rumors swirl that Ashton's flipping on him, and Brittany's case could be the key. Was Ashton the bridge between Brittany and Diddy, and did he know too much? But if this was all just a coincidence, why did the FBI quietly reopen Brittany's case the same month Diddy's homes were raided? The answer lies in a hidden file, one that allegedly proves this was never about pneumonia. In March 2024, Federal agents raided Diddy's mansions in a sweeping investigation, and within days, a bombshell leaked. Brittany Murphy's case was quietly reopened, because buried in those seized files, a trail that leads straight back to her death. When Homeland Security stormed Diddy's properties, they weren't just looking for evidence of trafficking, they were hunting a paper trail of silenced witnesses. Sources close to the investigation claim a seized hard drive contained encrypted files labeled BM, with timestamps matching Brittany's final months. Phone records subpoenaed by the feds allegedly show calls between Diddy and Simon Monjack in the weeks before Brittany's death. Most chilling, a witness list from Kim Porter's unfinished tell-all included Brittany's name, proving she was preparing to talk. This wasn't just a hunch anymore. The feds had a pattern. While Brittany's official autopsy blamed pneumonia, insiders revealed 12 pages were redacted, including toxicology notes that referenced unknown substances, a handwritten note from the coroner, decedent's hair discoloration consistent with heavy metal exposure, a withheld witness statement from a housekeeper who claimed Brittany screamed, "They put it in my tea," days before collapsing. Why hide this? And who pressured the coroner? After Brittany died, her films were pulled from streaming platforms. Fan forums discussing her death were mysteriously deleted. Even her father's lab results were dismissed as conspiracy theories, until now. Because with Diddy's empire crumbling, former associates are finally talking. A retired LAPD detective claims Brittany's case file was flagged "Do not pursue" by higher-ups. An ex-studio exec admits Brittany was blacklisted after refusing to network at Diddy's parties. This wasn't just a cover-up, it was a systemic silencing. But the most damning piece of evidence isn't in a file, it's in Ashton Kutcher's sudden reversal. Because after 15 years of silence, he's reportedly ready to testify. And what he knows could bring down an empire. Ashton Kutcher spent 15 years dodging questions about Brittany Murphy. But now, with Diddy facing life in prison, sources say he's cutting a deal with prosecutors. And what he's revealing paints him not as a clueless ex, but as a man who knew too much. Their friendship started as a joke. In 2003, Diddy dared Ashton to prank him on Punk'd, but behind the scenes, their bond turned deadly serious. Diddy's yacht logs show Ashton attended at least 6 VIP retreats between 2005 to 2008, trips Brittany allegedly called Red Flag City. Texts leaked in 2024 reveal Ashton assured Diddy in 2009, "She's just paranoid. Nobody's listening to her." Most damning, flight records place Ashton in Miami the weekend Brittany first claimed she was poisoned. This wasn't just friendship, it was complicity. Their breakup was Hollywood's juiciest gossip, but the timeline hides something darker. Ashton began dating Demi Moore 11 days after Brittany's death. Demi was a known Diddy confidant, even investing in his vodka brand. In her memoir, Demi cryptically wrote, "Some exes aren't just exes, they're liabilities." Was Ashton's new relationship a strategic move to discredit Brittany's claims? With federal RICO charges looming, Ashton's reportedly trading testimony for immunity, and what he's saying changes everything. He admits Diddy joked about handling loose ends weeks before Brittany's death. Claims Simon Monjack was on Diddy's payroll as a fixer, tasked with keeping Brittany quiet. Reveals Brittany sent him a thumb drive of evidence months before she died, which he lost. The question isn't what Ashton knew, it's how much he helped cover up. But this story doesn't end in a courtroom, because the final piece of the puzzle lies in a place nobody searched, Brittany's last film, where she left clues hidden in plain sight. Before she died, Brittany Murphy filmed one last movie, a straight-to-DVD thriller called Something Wicked. And when fans rewatched it after her death, they realized she wasn't just acting, she was sending a message. In the film, Brittany played a woman being slowly poisoned by her husband while the town doctor covers it up. The parallels are bone-chilling. Her character's symptoms, vomiting blood, dizziness, paranoia, matched Brittany's real-life decline. One line haunts fans. "They'll call it pneumonia, but we both know the truth." The director later admitted Brittany improvised most of her dialogue, including a whispered, "Check the vitamins." Was this her cry for help on camera? Crew members broke NDAs to reveal disturbing details. Brittany showed up to set with bruised arms, claiming she'd fallen. She refused craft services, eating only from sealed protein bars she brought herself. During a break, she was overheard begging her agent, "Get me out of this contract before cutting herself off." The film wrapped in October 2009. She was dead by December. Something Wicked was shelved for 4 years after her death. When it finally leaked online, fans noticed. 12 minutes had been cut, including a monologue where Brittany's character says, "Rich men don't kill you themselves. They pay your husband to do it slowly." The producer who ordered the edits? A known Diddy associate who later went bankrupt under shady circumstances. But the most damning evidence isn't in deleted scenes. It's in a locked safe deposit box Brittany opened weeks before her death. And the only person who knows the combination is the one man who's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. 3 days before she collapsed, Brittany Murphy rented a safe deposit box at a private Beverly Hills bank. The key disappeared after her death, until now. Because what's inside doesn't just expose her killers, it proves she knew they were coming. The box was registered under Angel May, her childhood nickname, with no paper trail, just fingerprint access. Bank employees confirmed Simon Monjack tried to break into it twice before his own death. In 2023, a whistleblower leaked the security footage showing Brittany placing a thumb drive and notebook inside just 72 hours before her collapse. This wasn't just a hiding place. It was a trap. Sources close to the FBI investigation described the contents. A list of names: Diddy, Ashton Kutcher, and 5 Hollywood power players. Each name followed by dates, dollar amounts, and the code FP. Freak-off parties. Photos of her arms. Close-ups of needle marks with timestamps matching Diddy's yacht parties. Handwritten note. They said it was B12. I stopped feeling my hands after. The smoking gun. A voicemail transcript from Ashton. Stop talking about Sean's parties. You don't know what they do to girls who just stay sick, okay? Asterisk. While the box contents haven't been officially admitted into Diddy's trial, 2 agents anonymously confirmed. The thumb drive contained 47 encrypted videos, allegedly from Diddy's homes. Brittany's notebook detailed a VIP medical team who treated party guests with vitamin cocktails. Most chilling, a hand-drawn map of her house with an arrow pointing to the bathroom where she collapsed, and the words, "They'll use the vents." So was Brittany Murphy murdered? The evidence screams yes. But with Diddy's trial underway and Ashton Kutcher's immunity deal pending, one question remains. Will Hollywood let the truth come out, or has the system been rigged from the start? Because remember, Brittany didn't just leave us clues. She left a blueprint. And if 2 people died to keep this quiet, how many more are still out there? Drop your theory in the comments. Was it Simon, Diddy, or someone we haven't named yet? And smash subscribe right now, because you won't want to miss what happens next. This story isn't over. It's just been waiting for someone to open the right box.